Security and Protection of Personality, Society and State International Business Congress. In late 2013, Moscow saw the Security and Protection of Personality, Society and State International Business Congress, which drew attention of the world community and public. The event was organized by the International Advisory Committee of Organizations of Reserve Officers, the Public Chamber of Russia and the Megapir National Association of Unions of Reserve Officers, and backed by law enforcement ministries and agencies of Russia, the government of Moscow and public. According to the organizers of the Congress, its objective was to integrate the best practices created by society and state in the field of security, to outline the ways of cooperation in this area, and to contribute to the coordination and development of international business ties of the participants in the issues related to the world security maintenance. Today we have a significant event focused on security and protection of personality, society and state. This is an international event. It is the first time for us to hold such a large-scale international congress coupled with an exhibition which has brought together representatives of nearly all regions of Russia and various international companies. In particular, within the framework of the International Advisory Committee, the President of the World Veterans Organization, Vice President of the World Veterans Organization, and Vice Presidents of the IAC participated in the Congress. At the forum opening ceremony, speakers noted that both the Congress and the related security exhibition became a perfect opportunity to exchange knowledge and experience. It became an effective foundation for new technological achievements and ideas and an important mechanism for international activities. During 3 days, there is a hard and interesting work ahead of us. The exhibition will make it possible to estimate to which extent nowadays domestic technologies and production capacities meet demands of the real-world level. We have an old saying, "Picture is worth 1,000 words." On my way here, I saw in passing what has been done by the organizers and participants. However, it was enough for me to understand that the event is interesting, relevant and necessary. It is not merely a security-related business congress. This is yet a forum of friendship and communication among officers, veterans and the youth of our countries. There will be a lot of awards. By order of the International Advisory Committee, today I would like to hand the Officer Solidarity Medal to Deputy Defense Minister of the Russian Federation, Ruslan Hadjimitovich Tsalikov. Today's world has faced multiple challenges. These problems are linked to nowadays terrorism, and to successfully combat it, we need to unite our knowledge and experience and to demonstrate new technological achievements, enabling us to strive for freedom and peace of the world. Various international organizations presented at the exhibition their achievements in the field of security. Distinguished foreign guests had a look at Russian displays with interest. However, military exhibits drew special attention. On behalf of Ukraine, we have presented a pavilion designed by the Civil Protection Research and Development Institute, which is specialized in personal and territorial security. We have been cooperating with both Russian and all neighboring states, and we have intergovernmental agreements. That is why the exhibition and forum and an exchange of experience are beneficial for nearby countries working together, including the field of security. On the initiative of the International Advisory Committee of Organizations of Reserve Officers, at the forum's theoretical part, the guests and participants of the Congress focused on such a topical issue as an international cooperation of law enforcement agencies and public organizations to combat terrorism. Representatives from Malaysia, Norway, Kazakhstan, Spain, Jordan, Slovakia, the United States of America, Bulgaria, the Ukraine, Russia and others have delivered speeches on the issue.
Мы благодарим также наших зарубежных гостей, коллег.
We are also thankful to our foreign colleagues and guests having graciously arrived to us. During 3 days we worked together, and today they are participating in our conference. We are going to work for 2 hours to draw up some recommendations for heads of our states, public organizations and political parties with the view of countering international terrorism regarded as a present-day major threat to humanity and to the world civilization.
Для человечества, для мировой цивилизации.
Актуальность проблемы международное сотрудничество силовых структур, офицеров и сержантов запаса резерва.
The problem is relevant. The international cooperation of law enforcement agencies, officers and sergeants of reserve is extremely topical, and it is a very important factor of fighting against nowadays terrorism. The cooperation is seen as a phenomenon with global tendencies, dimensions, and a high degree of the internationalization. Today's participation in the distinguished forum, namely the International Congress on Security and Protection of Personality, has shown us that to counter international terrorism, it is of great importance to unite efforts of the IAC member organizations and the parties of the International Advisory Committee of Organizations of Reserve Officers.
Tourists, they live and they grow easy in the weak society. And it needs a lot of action by a global or international working together. Terrorists at this time, they have very intelligent planning people for them, and they have very good access to all information in the world, and this make them strong, make them very active. What we need a global action in gathering information and passing it to each other to be able to counter them.
First of all, we are happy to be here and take part in this Congress, important Congress, who brings up the issue about peace, security, and fighting terrorism. Unfortunately, many of the terrorists are in fact veterans from conflicts, trained by armies in the name of protecting the society. This is one of the reasons that veterans are a group that we have to follow very carefully and activate them in the name of bringing peace and security.
When we talk about contemporary terror and extremism, we also need to look out toward the future and what will be the world of our children and our grandchildren if we don't strive to get it right now. With all the stressors in the world today, and it can be demographics, it can be migration, it can be extremism, whether it's political extremism or religious extremism. We have to continue to work together as a coordinated body and strive to solve these problems as best we can now. I wanted to say that we're all in here. We have our political challenges at times, but in the conflict against international, domestic and international terrorism, and it's very difficult to separate them out, that we are truly, indeed, friends and allies.
The problems being touched upon include combating terrorism and the provision of sustainable development in the field of security. To a large extent, the issues depend on Russia's position in the Asian region. In the field of security, Russia has been actively cooperating with the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Within the framework of the SCO, an anti-terrorist center was set up. It has been operating for 12 years now, and there has been an ongoing exchange of information. A number of threats have been averted thanks to the very exchange of information. Joint training of personnel to counter terrorism is yet another topical issue under the SOC's discussion. By the way, established by Russia's initiative, the University of the SOC member states came into being on the territory of the organization. In 2008, the initiative was put forward by Russian President Putin. Now, the university is fully operational. Historically, the Middle East region has been the most active in terms of terrorist threats. We have now faced a phenomenon being increasingly dubbed as the Internet terrorism. Now, in general, there has been a whole series of terrorist campaigns rather than sporadic acts. The nowadays global terrorism, I'm speaking of it in a bold manner, is taking new forms which requires new joint harsh, organized countermeasures, including the use of force. That's the point I wanted to attach the attention of all those present. When we talk about terrorism, we have to look at the motivation and learn why terrorists make their appearance. This is the most important. Fighting against terrorism, we combat only the top of it, while its underlying reasons remain untouched. Nobody wants to remember about it and solve these issues. To speak of nowadays terrorism and ignore politics is a mistake. It is the policies of certain states that provide for the immersion, carrying out and maintenance of terrorism in certain regions.
Очень просто одурманить молодых людей, которые не получили достойного образования, воспитания, чтобы свернуть их на...
It's very easy to befuddle young people and to steer them to the path of terrorism if they did not get a decent education and upbringing. When gunmen arrive in a village, they immediately kill the elders and leaders of the municipal bodies. They understand that they are the only ones who might exert influence over behavior of other villains. After that, they take away boys of 12 and older. The young guys under 18 were engaged in major terrorist attacks, killed and destroyed people. This once again reaffirms the truth that people must be taken care of. Economic, social, educational and cultural issues must be of high priority. And if we talk about any proposals on countering terrorism, we must begin with these basics.
В общем-то, террористы это рекрутируются они из молодежи и раннего возраста. Здесь говорилось о 12 лет. И
in fact, terrorists are recruited from the youth at an early age. The age of 12 was mentioned here. This is caused by a major problem existing in every European, African and Asian country. This is the problem of the youth employment. Youngsters of 14 to 20 stay unemployed and percentage is immense. There is no job today and no prospects for the future. You can clearly see that youngsters become perfect candidates for terrorist organizations throughout the world. It is vital for your organization to touch upon the problem too. Young people are recruited for evil purposes from an early age. However, they must be drawn for useful activities. There are companies here that are thinking about the problem and working on it. Apart from the development of the veteran and youth movements, we must also establish net ties among public organizations. They are intended for solving the issues we are currently discussing, namely the questions of harmonious living, normal and humane communication in the entire world. In our turn, Evgeny Pavlovich, we have worked out a draft agreement. During the Congress, we would like to sign the agreement between the IAC and the International Association of Social and Economic Councils of Public Chambers. This is another prospective organization.
Our membership is about 40 to 45 million members throughout the world, and every one of us have agreed that terrorism must be condemned. There is no excuse for terrorism, and that's one aspect I want to say. Now, today we have listened to a number of speakers, and it would appear that there are many reasons, or so-called reasons, I would call them excuses rather, to use terror as a means to achieve their political, social, or economic objectives. Now, the problem, as we've heard today, especially from Kazakhstan, our friend from Kazakhstan, the international community is not really working together. And this has been explained by a lot of people today. We are not there. It is a pity because we reckon for as long as the members of the international community are not working together, terrorism is going to go on and on and on. And really speaking, there is only one answer to all this. Just get together and speak to each other and try to resolve the problem.
At the end of the Congress, on behalf of the International Committee, we'll make an address and put our message across. Now, I would like to express my sincere gratitude for your participation. Everybody thank you and wish you every success. Summarizing the results of the International Business Congress, security of personality, society and state, medals and diplomas of the forum organizers were handed in a ceremonial atmosphere to the public and state organizations having taken an active part in the work of the Congress and exhibition.
Я воспринимаю награду как признание всем военно-воздушные, военно-морские атташе иностранные государства за то, что мы работаем на безопасности, мира и дружбе между нашими народами.
On behalf of the International Advisory Committee of Organizations of Reserve Officers for a special contribution to support veteran organizations rendering assistance to the armed forces, veterans, children and military families, the IAC's highest award of knighthood order was handed to President of the World Veterans Federation Hamid Ibrahim, Soviet Union Marshal Dmitry Timofeyevich Yazov, and Secretary of the Russian Federation Public Chamber and President of the International Association of Economic and Social Councils and similar institutions, Evgeny Pavlovich Velikov.
I would like to thank the authorities in Russia, especially the government and of course the people of Russia, for the honor they have given me.
According to the decision taken at the conference, an agreement on cooperation between the International Advisory Committee of Organizations of Reserve Officers and the International Association of Economic and Social Councils and similar institutions was signed in a ceremonial atmosphere. It was signed by the heads of the organizations Evgeny Velikov and Alexander Kanchin.
Должен сказать,
I am bound to say it is a historical moment, as in fact, I am in charge of my presidential position only for a short period, and the Russian Chamber has taken the lead in the Association of International Public Chambers only recently. At the evening friendly ceremonial reception, the guests spoke highly of the Megapir leadership of the organization, the conduct of the Congress, and the demonstration of an up-to-date comprehensive approach to the issues of security of personality, society and state. The association's initiative to hold the forum annually was fully approved. People of the world, take care of it. There are marshals and common soldiers among us who have gone through real wars which had nothing to do with either movies, books or verses. I should like us to take care of our planet. May it move forever and never stop.
О том, кто лидер, если такие есть,